Right, no intro today, let's make or break it. So why the future of the design tools are going to be open source, and the thing I'm going to say is going to make designers a little bit uncomfortable. So what I want to say here is, everyone keeps saying is Figma is better, is Magic Pattern is going to take over the design industry in creating MVPs, is Figma Make is the next lovable, can open source softwares can really compete or not. So that's the problem here. That's the wrong conversation that we are doing right now. The real question is why we are all okay with being logged in with the tools we don't control. So because for years I was being logged in the tools that I've been using, Adobe, Figma, and other tools, maybe around using Miro and everything related to that. So the problem with these tools, they are not open source, and I feel guilty of using those tools because whenever I interviewed previously, people are saying that they are expert at Figma, they are expert at this tool, Premiere, DaVinci, whatever we call it. So why are being locked in the tool? Because the skill set is not locked in the tools, and especially when you are skilled, you don't care what the software is. Yeah, you need to understand how it works, but it's not your skill set just to use the software. Your skill set is how you work, what your work ethic is. So now I'll be honest, I don't used to care about open source, not even a little. If the tool worked, looks good, get my job done, I'd use it to done. Okay, so recently I've been exploring for the past 1.5 years this Penpot, an open source design tool. Being open source in the design space is a very new thing because I have not seen at this level any software is being open source in design. Yeah, we've seen free trials, free demos, but I haven't seen something open source, properly open source. And this is made my mindset shift. Not because it looks prettier, it looks good, it looks free. It gives me the freedom however I want to use it. If I want to use it on my server, if I want to upload it on my server, on my local machine, whatever I want it, I can do with it. By shifting from Figma to Penpot, in most scenarios, I seem to realize that is we don't own our tools anymore. We rent them. We give the rent for using the tool, and when we are done and we cannot afford it, or we are not going to use, we're not going to use it. And it's not ownership, it's renting the software, and it's not good. Previously, it used to happen in the industry, you buy the software and you just own that license, you can use it forever. But these days, every single tool, even if it's SaaS or anything else, is not being, it's not a one-time offer. And yeah, we can find apps on AppSumo which are being just launched and they are offering lifetime subscription, but they're going to be asking the subscription per month or yearly basis in future, because that's the goal for them. We are not seeing recently any software to be open source or being for the lifetime free or lifetime purchase. Is this monopoly pattern that I have noticed. So this is not just about Figma that I'm talking about. Figma just happens to be the best example. Here's a problem every designer has lived through. Tools starts free or cheap, community grows, teams standardize in it, switching, cost become painful, and switching from one platform to another platform is extremely painful. When you're trying to upload your Figma file to another platform, it's not possible. And pricing changes, critical features move behind paywalls, you adapt because you have no leverage, you have no ownership or maybe control. Ownership I think is the wrong word, but you don't have control on these things, and you can request it directly to the developers. You are solely dependent on the company and their decisions and their roadmap. I think that's not completely evil or something like that. That's just capitalism that's working exactly as is designed. But let's not pretend that it's just for designers. It's just for all of the softwares that we're talking about right now. What open source softwares actually changes? This is where open source really matters, and people usually misunderstand it. Open source does not mean ugly UI, no polish, no roadmap. It does not mean, and there's no good support of the developers. This is not like that. Open source means more freedom, power balance. For example, in Penpot, you own your files. You have dev handoff for free. You don't have to pay for it. Your team is not forced into the vendor's ecosystem because it's free for all, and it's how it's growing. That's not a feature. That's, you can call it a freedom. And designers really optimize for freedom usually until it's gone, and it's just sad. So what's the reality that we are getting into right now? So for example, let's talk about the design to code enigma. In Figma, dev mode is powerful, but it's paid and tightly controlled. It's good. It's absolutely good. But in Penpot, you can export HTML, CSS, and SVG. They are first-class citizens in web. But you cannot export other, Android or iOS. But you can utilize it, right? Developers inspect real web standards because that's what they are looking for when they are styling for CSS or SCSS or any platform. So there is no permission or no upsell. So if you design for the web, this matters more than animations ever will. Design, as we know, design is not art. It's about more collaboration of the team and planning and structuring things. Let's look at it end to end. This is not just about design tools. So we are going to another tools like just end to end. Same story, open source, self-hostable, no artificial limits on logic, built for who want to control. What's happening, it's bigger than Penpot, and the world is going to get to the open source side. So what's happening that is bigger than Penpot, which is not just related to Penpot or Aniten or something like that, we are watching a quiet rebellion against the tool monopolies. They know what they're doing because that's what they are building it for, making a community that controls softwares and is made for people, not for buyers. Now, what's the hard truth? Here's the part we don't say out loud. Okay, so designers help create this problem. We chase convenience, instead of ownership, polish over principles, and speed over sustainability. And we don't tend to think bigger than what we want and what, as an industry, as in human beings, what we want, and we want to take this tech world towards. And now we are surprised when tools optimize for revenue instead of us. Open source is not anti-business, it's anti-abstraction. So this question comes in my mind, will open source going to replace Figma again? No, and that's not the goal. Figma will remain incredible for large organizations, mature design systems, complex prototyping, enterprise workflows. But the future is not one winner, okay? So what we need to understand is future is about being more control on what you do and how you do it. And open source is the only reason that is how it works and future exists. So now here's my question to you. If your design tool just doubled the price as of it's right now, would you accept it or would you unsubscribe that tool? Think about that. What would you do? You still have a choice? Don't. Let me know in the comments what do you think about this question. And you can start a debate. Paid tools are much better than open source. Let's see who wins. Because I think the future is more about ownership, being, more control over your files and your systems. That's my take, and that's how this world is going towards. Monopolies and capitalism is not the future, and it's not going to be end. And it's not like I'm against it, anti-business or something like that. I'm more towards pro-human because that's what we need to think about more than us, more than life, larger than life things, that how we're going to take this world more forward to the next generation. If this video makes you uncomfortable and made you think, even if you want to use Figma or not, or any software that you are paying for, then I would love to hear, are you experimenting with open source tools, Or are you all in on closed ecosystems like Figma or any other tool? Let's just talk. Designer to designer or founder to founder. Make me another one.